Here is the second update of Xiao Luoxi's death, sorting out the timeline. Based on Luoxi's ultrasound and CT scans, her parents' statements, the hospital's surgical consent forms, autopsy screenshots, and various online analyses from medical professionals, the story is pretty clear. The 11th of November 2025, Luoxi's parents took her to Ningbo Women and Children's Hospital for a routine checkup. The ultrasound showed a 3mm ASD hole in the heart and suggested a possible 7mm coronary sinus ASD, recommending further checks. Her parents claimed the chief physician, Chen Junxian, urged immediate surgery, saying it was low risk with a high success rate and that waiting would be dangerous. Luoxi was admitted that day for pre-op checks scheduled for November 14. Note, there's likely no recorded evidence of this specific conversation. November 14. Luoxi entered the OR at 7:48 a.m. Surgery started at 9:25 a.m. What was supposed to be a 2-3 hour procedure lasted 7 hours. 4:27 p.m. Luoxi was moved to the PICU. Her parents were told the surgery was a success. 10:03 p.m. Luoxi was pronounced dead. The hospital refused to let the mother see the body. Because she was understandably hysterical and pleading, the hospital called the police. She didn't see her daughter until the next day. November 17. The Ningbo Health Commission began an investigation. November 24. The family requested an out-of-town autopsy. November 26. Renowned forensic expert Liu Liang and his team performed the autopsy. November 27. Police officially accepted the parents' case. December 14. The Health Commission released a report confirming the hospital failed to properly assess risks, made surgical errors, failed to disclose emergencies during surgery, and had flaws in post-op monitoring. Several people were disciplined. The report also noted that the lack of video playback in the OR and no cameras in the PICU didn't violate regulations. December 20. Luoxi's mum shared autopsy screenshots. Liu Liang's team confirmed no coronary sinus ASD existed. The actual hole was 1 cm times 0.9 cm. The cause of death was heart and respiratory failure, following surgery for a secundum ASD. Afterward, famous singer Han Hong spoke out, and the topic hit Hashon on trending before quickly disappearing. The hospital posted a statement at 8:47 p.m. that night but deleted it shortly after. It claimed the autopsy showed a 1 cm hole, not 0.3 cm, explaining that a stopped heart during an autopsy shrinks significantly compared to a beating one. They argued a 1 cm hole is a major issue for a 5-month-old. This is different with what they said on first checking. According to the hospital's consent form, after starting bypass and opening the right atrium, they claimed to find a 3mm hole and a 10mm hole. Because the 10mm one was further back, the doctor cut open the 3mm hole to reach it. This is why the autopsy showed a larger hole and patch. After fixing both and restarting the heart, Luoxi showed abnormalities. They had to go back in, rip out the sutures and patches, and use a larger patch to fix it again. This explains why the autopsy found 2 layers of patching, with one side floating loose. However, the autopsy was clear. The hole was 1 cm times 0.9 cm, and there was no second hole. Liu Liang's team is top tier, and forensic irrigation tests are far more precise than minimally invasive surgery. It's almost certain Luoxi didn't have the second condition. A 3mm hole in a 5-month-old preemie usually doesn't require immediate surgery. The decision to operate was a total misjudgment. During surgery, the doctor doubled down on the mistake. To fix an imaginary hole, they cut the 3mm hole open to 1 cm times 0.9 cm. Whether it was the stress of fixing a phantom defect or poor patching, things went south, forcing them to redo the whole thing. A Jihu user with cardiac surgery experience, Curry Chicken, suspects the doctor mistook the opening of the right lower pulmonary vein for a hole and sewed it shut. Between the repeated bypasses and the tearing and repatching, little Luoxi couldn't hold on. The ultrasound tech was right about the 3mm hole and was rightly unsure about the other 7mm one because it didn't exist. But Dr. Chen rushed into surgery based on a CT scan that confirmed the suspicion. That rush led to the tragedy. Looking back at the hospital's deleted statement claiming the hole was 1 cm, not 0.3 cm, is incredibly cynical. Their own paperwork admitted it was 3 millimeters before they cut it open. Now they're gaslighting the public, saying it was 1 centimeter all along to justify the surgery. This amateur hour behavior and sheer arrogance is disgusting. Potential legal liability. While some doctors sympathize with Dr. Chen, citing the pressures of local hospitals, the law sees it differently. Medical malpractice is a crime of negligence. The criminal law states, medical staff who cause death or serious health damage due to gross irresponsibility shall be sentenced to up to 3 years in prison. The police have opened a case. Given the evidence and public outcry, Dr. Chen could face criminal charges. Additionally, the parents have filed a civil lawsuit, the victim blaming mirror. Online, people are blaming the child's health, the parents for not going to a bigger city, or accusing them of being professional protesters looking for views. These people always look for a reason to blame the victim. As I often say, your words reflect your values, and what you choose to believe reflects your intelligence. Legally, there is no victim's fault in medical malpractice. The hospital is responsible for its actions. Luoxi's parents trusted a chief physician at a top-tier hospital in a developed region. They did nothing wrong. They even consulted another hospital the day she was admitted and were told to go to Ningbo Women and Children's. Furthermore, the family has refused all donations. Seeking legal compensation is their right. The most enraging part. Doctors at the hospital leaked Luoxi's private medical records online, including the mother's name, address, pregnancy history, and even photos of the baby's genitals just to try and prove she was an unhealthy preemie. It's a total loss of medical ethics. Luoxi was a 34-week preemie, weighing only 1,520 grams. Imagine the struggle the mother went through. The baby finally made it to 5 months, was smiling and playing, only to be lured onto an operating table for a condition she didn't even have. There's a 15-minute video of police blocking the devastated family at the hospital. The officers were aggressive, demanding silence at 3 a.m. and repeatedly saying to wait for the husband to handle it, as if the women had no right to be there. They demanded calm but wouldn't let a mother see her child one last time. By then, the baby had been dead for 5 hours and had visible lividity. Every minute after hearing that news is agony. Demanding absolute logic from parents in that moment is cold-blooded. Luoxi's parents have filed their lawsuit. I'll keep you updated as things progress.